that those who want licenses should come between 3:30 and 4:30, which is 45 minutes after that, with a demand draft of 1651 crore rupees. Now, I can't get a 1 crore demand draft in 10 days. How can anybody in 45 minutes get 1651 crores? Obviously, that some people had advance information. They had already got the demand draft and they were all ready. And some of them were in fact sitting in Mr. Raja's room. So they didn't even have to go to the building to deliver. Now, should not the government intervene? Such a huge loss was caused. And a minister called Mr. Kapil Sibal says that the loss was zero. People said he is not to be blamed because he doesn't know how to count beyond zero. Now, here in Tamil Nadu, the Chief Minister says my birthday is coming, so 1,451 hardened criminals who are serving life sentence for murder, rape and so on are to be released in celebration of my birthday. Now, either the Chief Minister has kinship with these 1,451, but he releases it. How do I stop it? I have to go to court and say that my fundamental right has been affected, and the courts have intervened and they are now considering the matter. So therefore, to say Lakshman Rekha, let me say here too, had Sita not crossed the Lakshman Rekha, Ravan would never have been killed. So sometimes crossing of Lakshman Rekha is necessary. Then there is a question of your rights being denied. During the state of emergency, which Mrs. Gandhi proclaimed as a constitutional measure, the Attorney General went to the court and said, we can now take the life of any person without a trial at all, which was totally against. But for the judiciary at that time, there would have been no sanity at all brought in the implementation of the emergency. So we owe the freedom that we have today, the luxury of freedom, to the judiciary intervention at that stage. Finally, the judiciary has done a great service to our country by limiting the amending power of Parliament. Earlier on, if two-thirds majority you had in Parliament, you could amend anything in the Constitution. In fact, you could declare anybody as a king or queen. There was some suspicion that Mrs. Gandhi was preparing to be declared as the Queen of India. And just before that, in 1973, the Supreme Court said, no, Constitution is above everybody else. Parliament is a creature of the Constitution. Parliament is not supreme. Anyone who says Parliament is supreme is wrong. And that Parliament cannot amend the Constitution beyond its shape. There is a basic structure, and that basic structure has to be maintained. So therefore, if this is what you call as judicial activism, and if this is what you call as compromise, very good, that's what we want.
Dr. Subramanian Swamy, it can also be argued that you have used all the examples which you have used today. I can see that you stood up to respond, but all the examples you have used today are merely aberrations which you are using today to pass a sweeping generalization on the system.
Give me an example which is not an aberration. Today, aberration is the rule, normality is the exception.
In that case, I take that argument. I take that argument and ask Mr. Kaur.